You are welcome again. At the beginning of the film, a large number of rats are shown wandering. Later, we see a train station scene in which a father is about to board a train with his daughter and son when another train arrives. Everyone is shown to be concerned because there is no one inside. The train comes to a halt here, and many officers inspect it. They discover many dead bodies, and the father witnesses all of this. When the officers check another box, a swarm of rats emerges from it. During this, a bad man is shown fighting with her father, and Ting arrives to assist her father. But the bad man is shown misbehaving with her while a man holds his hand. His condition worsens, and his companions request that Dusan leave him, and Ting thanks Dusan. Later, they hear a voice and see thousands of rats. Father comes to another box, or perhaps he is looking for someone and sees Ling, who is talking to the major, who is actually his daughter. Father wants to bring Ling, but the officers stop humming, and Ling too says I don't know him. Later, the officers take father with them and lock him up, but they notice a man whose body is mutating strangely, and one of them goes to investigate. Many rats have killed him, and now the rats attack the officer's body and kill them in a flash. Zhang looks inside the train and notices something moving in the cloth, but it's just a small cat, and then a lady hears Rat's voice and her husband picks her up. Suddenly, some rats appear to have fallen there, and they attack a man, severely injuring him. Everyone is shown fleeing, and the rats are spread throughout the box. Then a few officers go to bring their box, but the rats attack them and kill them quickly, and the rats are shown not moving forward because of the light, and the father finds the key and frees himself. But as he moves out, he sees many dead bodies. They had been terminated by the rats, and the box was full of rats. Later, father was getting up from his seat because there were a lot of rats in that box. Then he comes out and immediately closes the door. The officers were also running, but none of them understood what was going on. When the father arrives, he orders everyone to flee from the rats. Shang notices Ting and the others standing at the door, and the officers arrive, and Shang also notices Ling. But father arrives at the same time and asks them to escape from the rats, but no one believes him, and they begin mocking him. Father advances, seeing this with Ting and Shang. Meanwhile, a man arrives and dies, and everyone is shown shocked after seeing him, but then something moving in his clothes is revealed to be a rat. Suddenly, a swarm of rats attacks and begins slaughtering the people. Everyone is now shown running away from them, and there is a lot of commotion on the train because there are so many rats. They lock the front door as a result, and father, Dusan, and many others are trapped here because the rats group can arrive at any time. The army officers also lock the final door, and Ling is shown concerned for her sister and father, but the officers do not allow her to intervene. The previous box is shown, and the rats have killed a large number of people. Dusan gets the idea to move out from above the train and pulls the others up, leaving only the last man, but the rats attack and brutally end the man. The captain asks the major to disconnect the train after seeing the backside where the rats were getting upside down. The major is required to do this, but upon seeing this, Dusan moves to the next box and begins pulling others. When it was father's turn, the box turned, but Dusan saved him. People who have lost their families are shown to be depressed, and Ling is also shown to be crying. Her father and sister arrive quickly, but she dislikes her father for some reason, so she isn't overjoyed to see them. Then, unexpectedly, a man dies, and it is discovered that he was bitten by a rat. And this is an infection, so anyone who is bitten by the rats will be quarantined or everyone will be infected. Later, they discover that Zhang is also infected, which causes everyone to become concerned. Then their father appears, saying, I am a health department worker, and my senior requested a medicine a few days ago that will end this infection, and we will get it from the next station. The captain declares that this train will not stop at any cost because those rats are dangerous, but a bad man kidnaps him and claims that everyone needs that medicine, so the train will undoubtedly stop at the next station. The infected people were later quarantined. Then father appears sought Ling, but she refuses to speak with him because he was not present during her difficult times. The train now stops at the next station, and father, accompanied by Ting and Dusan, goes to bring medicine. After some time, they arrive in town where everything has been destroyed and there are numerous dead bodies. They have no choice but to walk on the dead bodies, but as they do so, They come across a rat crowd and the railway hospital. Meanwhile, Father notices that the rats are afraid of light, so they move from above, but a man falls and the rats quickly kill him. On the other hand, a man from the town is shown on the train, and they discover that the rats become dangerous at night. When they realized this, they decided to leave, and there were clouds in the town, and the rats were moving upside down. Meanwhile, another man collapses, and his brutally murdered Ting comes down and her father joins her, but Dusan has to jump upside due to it, and his foot becomes injured later. They flee and hide at a location immediately, and Ting bandages his foot, but a bad man attacks them. After making him relax, he tells him that we have come here to take the antibiotics for the infection, and upon hearing this, the man returns to his infected family members. He says, "Now you will be saved," and then leads them to the warehouse. But there are many rats on the way, and they must pass through the fire. Everyone on the train was worried that they wouldn't be able to return because they were taking medicine. So the bad man releases the captain and warns the major to start the train. The driver also gets, but the bad man and the captain begin fighting again, and a lady becomes depressed as she witnesses this. Now the lady is shown opening the door, allowing the rats to enter and begin killing the people inside. When they arrive at the warehouse, there is a huge nest of rats, but Father moves alone and finds the medicine. But as he returns, the furniture breaks and he hangs. Ting becomes concerned when he sees this, and the man takes the medicine box from him and locks everyone here because he wants to improve his financial situation after selling it. Suddenly, the rat's nest collapsed, and they charge toward them. They break the door and flee, and the rats crowd chases them down. They arrive at the man, only to discover that his family is no longer alive. They run outside with the medicine, but the rats eat the man in the meantime. They find a jeep and run while climbing into it. The rats' horde has also arrived outside and is chasing them, but the clouds have vanished from the sky, and the rats have stopped chasing them. They have now arrived outside the train, where there are numerous dead bodies. They become depressed because they believe that everyone has died. Later, Ling and the others appear in front of them, making them happy, but the weather changes and a large crowd of rats rush toward them. The injured captain suddenly attacks Father and flees while taking the medicine, but Dusan fights him and throws the medicine at Father. During this time, the pilot started the train and the rats arrived, so Dusan asks the father to run from there, and Ting pulls the father upside down, but Dusan couldn't run because he was injured. Then he is shown screaming and telling Ting that he likes him but that no one can help him and that the rats will kill him. Ting becomes upset as a result of it, and later they inject everyone, but the pilot stops the train because the track is blocked, and Father asks everyone for help clearing the track, but no one agrees to help him, and Father and Ting are left to try alone. Ling becomes depressed as a result of it and says, "I'm scared too, like you, but we still have a chance, and we should at least try." Hearing her, everyone becomes motivated and gets removing the box from the track, but it was a heavy object that was difficult to remove. The rats' horde was approaching them. Then a man stands in front of the rats' crowd, armed with a large number of explosives, and when the rats approach, he detonates them all at once. On the other side, they move the box away with all their might later. They board the train, but it was critical to switch the front track or else it would tilt here. Father switches the track, and when he gets on the train, he discovers that the switch is not working. As a result, Father has to hold it, and later he gets on the train with the rats crowd behind him. Ting tries to take his hand, but he falls, and Ting and Ling are concerned. Here, Ling realizes his father's love, and his father discovers he couldn't get on the train and was killed by the rats. When they see this, Ting and Ling become upset. With that, the film comes to a close. Please consider like, share, and subscribe our channel.